Right? It's the Glow Up Fabulous Conversations with Innovative Minds. Today I am talking with Howard Taylor. Howard, I am so excited to connect with you and dive into your journey in innovation and technology. Can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you're doing these days?
Oh, well. Yes, he gave the intro so formal, but I said I do it like how I do it always. This is your boy HT. How 702. Let's get tripping like a kid. Untie
Bring
his
it.
shoes. You see the vibe and you see the move. I am a VR digital content creator. Well, we say it in the 21st century. I am a VR digital enthusiast. I like to bring awareness to what's going on with VR, XR, and AR technology that's going around and that's going on into the metaverse. So I bring awareness to hey, what's cool and I think what's to stay away from in the VR aspect.
Love the energy, love the intro. Thank you. Since you brought it up, why virtual reality? What got you hooked there? I know that almost everybody who works in AR or VR had a moment where they just fell in love with the technology and it changed how they thought about the world. What was your aha moment with AR and VR?
No, I mean my I guess my I say epiphany moment with this is VR. Wow, this hopped into it. I want to say like the aspect of like December of 21. I'm with my lady. We're doing something, and I'm getting ready. Like, oh, see, like the commercial for like the Oculus pops up, and I'm like, oh, I've been seeing this pop up all year. End up getting it. Got onto the aspect, and at the time, I end up like going to venues and aspects like that, and I stumbled across Horizon Worlds. It was like the beta program at the time, and went into there and like went into a club or something like a comedy club and just in there was so like here's some comedy and was able to get onto the stage and like do some of my music and sat right there and I'm like, oh, okay, this is a different realm, this is a different area. So I mean that's what made like it was like showed that this is real.
I love it that there was this moment of like a little bit of community, a little bit of creation, and you're like, all right, it's for me. So tell me about the Howard Hour. This is a weekly series that you do in VR.
Yes, I do it every Friday night, 11 Central, 12 Eastern, 9 Pacific. Like Disney Channel stats, but late at night for adults. But no, I mean the Howard Hour. It came about like so before me again. I started this journey as an artist and going around as my artist doing like the certain ins and outs. I stumbled across podcasts on there, became a host on there, and from there, like just to fill in time slots in there, came up with the form like, oh, hey, Howard Hour. And at first, it started off as like a radio like smooth personality to like it's like up in your face and direct type format. How I look at it now.
I'm curious, how does virtual reality and hosting an interview in it's Horizon Worlds, yeah? How does hosting an interview in Horizon Worlds allow you to like build connections with your guests as well as interact with your audiences? I don't know that everybody who's listening has been in a an interview or a podcast in a virtual world. What's that like?
I say it in all to the terms of we all grew up on the TV aspect. So first off, like what I want you to associate when you hear like with the Howard Hour, like you think of like late night format. So Johnny Carson, Arsenio Hall, Dave Letterman, like just all those essence elements that made up into an IRL presence. That's why I feel like I showcase with the Howard Hour and a lot of things too, like what I want to say with the merger with well, how I say with the VR aspect. I'm doing it into a space where or it don't have to feel like it's just like a regular question answer format or to the point of I just have to be generic like you have to tell me about your life, how you got to point A to get to point B. Now we have this whole that's like no, it's a comfortability that I want to show like organic presence can be into any like tethering aspect we can put in and with the Howard Hour I really see that tethering that it goes way beyond just you don't have to be in technology to be involved with the Howard Hour, or you don't have to be like with entertainment, or you don't even have to be on your headset now to even watch it. Like that's the approach that I want to do with the Howard Hour, just like how I see with the growing technology that we have around.
Amazing. So you mentioned this idea of tethering. This is
Mhm.
something that we've talked about a little bit, but I'd love to dive into this idea of tethering the metaverse to real life experiences. What does this mean to you, and how are you building these ideas into the world?
Oh, well, one of the things I really seen about like with this tethering aspect with entertainment, not entertainment, but with technology, especially with the virtual reality realm, a lot of people, because it's in a avatar state, are like, it's not like how we're looking at each other right now. Right off the bat, you will see that it has that illusion that it's supposed to be a game, or you're going away from your real self into real value. So you already have a instruction of you're getting on here to get away into an abstract. And with that abstract of showing, I guess with the tethering, how I say, the tethering part I really call with it, like we have to be organic at times with this. When you're putting on this headset, you're having interactions with people around. You're going around others who are like probably going through something that happens throughout their day, or something happens, and again, somebody could be having a crappy day or so, and energy is real. So I started looking into the aspect like, hold on, energy is real, and that's already on the physical interaction. So I can just imagine what happens when we're just into this interface of just putting on a headset. So I'm seeing already with that aspect, like I'm seeing many relationships get formed, seeing many break up, seeing many dynasties build, many crumbled away, to the point now, like you're like, hold on, if there was an organic presence, like, oh hey, like I have to come in here not as an AI mode, but as a, oh, this is something I'm soaking up, just like AI do. It has to soak, adapt, and assert. And I mean, that's why I feel like with the tethering moves that we have to do at times, that's what shows.
Can you talk about a time where you learned something from your audience or your customers that changed or focused how you approach the work that you do?
Oh, good question. Good question. I say with that aspect, what really made me like see that this goes way beyond just a brand of being lucrative steps, but a brand of something that's going for longevity. I had an episode that I was doing, and we end up, like I say, a guest that I had on there never knew, never met this gentleman or anything, but ended up sitting through one of my shows, and the gentleman ended up coming to me at the end of the show to tell me like, hey, I sat in here to like didn't even know what was going on, but sat in here, and I guess from the day or whatever that he was having, it kept him from doing something stupid that would either let him in like in jail, or basically like in the realms of like in death. And just from that conversation right there and sitting there, again, it gives me chills just talking about it now. That showed me, okay, this is just going way beyond of like, hey, you're just going to be here and like sit and talk to somebody, or hey, you're sitting here just to blab, get for gab. But no, that shows me like my motto is everybody's a somebody, and you never know what somebody's going through. You never know what somebody is looking for too. And then so same long run, you could have somebody that has like again come upon some positive energy and change their whole aspect, change their whole mind state, change their whole like this way of like this thinking for that course of time. That shows me like, wait, okay, this is going way beyond just an approach of this is about okay, what is established with these lucrative moves. I'm seeing, oh, this is what's needed, and that's what made me feel like with the Howard Hour, like, oh, okay, this is what's needed in the space of this emerging technology. Just like I'm not an emerging technology, but I'm in this vast space of growing with it. So
Hmm.
that's what made me get that realization, like, okay, hey, yeah, this is going way beyond just hey questions, hey, bye, what you doing?
I'm I'm a little floored. My next question was going to be about how do you know that you made it? How do you know that you're making an impact? And this is one of the your example is really, I think, a really prime example of what I always call the human impacts of technology that we almost never measure, right? We talk about engagements, we talk about the number of people in a place, we talk about the number of millions of views that you might have. The idea that creating a space where people could come together, have a conversation, have a little fun in a virtual world, and that maybe saved somebody's life or kept them from making a bad decision that would have put them in jail. Like the human, I don't want to call it a cost, but like the value of an interaction that causes somebody to rethink the way they're going to live their life, or to bet on themselves for another day.
Mm.
Like that's so incredibly powerful, and as like a creator, somebody who's trying to make space, that's got to be incredibly encouraging.
I mean, it's like the aspect of like, I mean, how you were just saying with that human, I guess that human core. I'm a comic book head, and a lot of times on my show, I say we have superpowers on here that we're aware of that we're really doing with. And one of my favorite quotes is from the Spider-Man series, like Uncle Ben, and he always said, "With great powers come great responsibilities." We don't look to sit here and have all these responsibilities. We don't sit here and be like, we don't expect to be out and try to be a beacon of light because we all go through something. We are all human beings, but we are all human beings that are growing together. So we have to put in the aspect just like I'm going through something, somebody else is going through something. I mean, I'm in the aspect of it could always be worse. I get cussed out for that all the time. I get put down because again, like when you have to spread positivity, it goes into a way of like just way beyond borders. And like you was asking earlier, one of the things that really showed me beyond with that interaction, I got to go to AWE this year, and with one of the things with that, I really again got to meet greats like yourself, what really showed me that I really made it with this aspect. And I mean, it's just simple things that really I love. Going around, again, I'm a new scrub. I'm all in there, like at Disneyland. Nobody knows me. I'm thinking all this. We're at the Mingo, the social mixer they had going on. Like it was on a Monday before everything started, going through the floor and everything. And I think something happened. We had to all like sit still for a minute. Somebody looked over to me, looked down at my badge, looked up, and like you seen the pure excitement, and out of nowhere, bust off started saying, "Howard, I were live. Howard, I were live," and I found out they're from Portugal. So I mean, I'm not making fun of them or whatever. Like they were barely speaking any English or so, but they're there for a demonstration and everything. But no, pulled up a clip from one of my shows that I did talking about like relations with going to, like overseas and everything with technology. Pulled it up, and that's right there showed me like, whoa, hold on, like we're not even in the same like language barrier right now. But for you to show me that you had something from my archive to show like, hey, you either like digested it, learned from it, or something that's like mind blowing. Like this is what this space is for. Just like with this technology with XR and AR, it has to be a part. Like what we said earlier about with tethering, all of it has to come together. You have to have all the components to make your binary system, all the components to make their shit. Like, I mean, go to a point where you have to go way beyond just looking at the computing code. It go like it's so many that goes into the algorithm that is different that we don't compute, and that's why I say like, well, this organic presence are really saying earlier. Like it's all about like the genuine interactions that I really think that really show if you make it or either like people are saying like, oh, you have to stay away from this individual or this is not a certain party that's with.
How cool to be noticed, to feel like you're a first timer, and then to be noticed for the work and community that you've already been building. I find that especially within the AR and VR community, everybody's looking out for something interesting. Everybody's got an eye out, and there are so many kindred spirits, folks with similar passions and vision, that sometimes just having a place to come together can really be so powerful. The name of the show is The Glow Up, right? And a glow up is a notable transformation in appearance or success or lifestyle. So I'm
That's
curious,
sauce.
what are
Glow up.
you what are you looking to glow up in your work, either in the Howard Hour or otherwise, in the next 6 months?
I mean, just like I said, the glow up, how I'm looking at that aspect, the glow I'm looking at I guess a broader brand for with the Howard Hour. I seen about the branding that I want to go after instead of just what I guess demographics to go or all this and everything. I know what areas I want to go towards, so I feel like I want to touch more with mental illness stuff that instead of like just political affairs and everything. That's like, hey, how are we feeling at the end of the day with certain things? Like I want to just bring more aspects of it's okay to be a person in this crazy world that we're in. And one of the things, especially too, with the glow up, I also want to make like more of the Howard Hour on the road. Like I say, with 6 months is coming up, we got eight that's coming up again in Europe. and all that. And that's one of my goals. I said on my bucket list to get to the Europe one for AWE, and hey, that's a major glow up too with that. But not even that. One of my main goals of this with the glow up, that's to show like, hey, this wasn't done the day before, but this is done the day after, and something can be done greater the day after this. So it's just a everlasting building of a building that's not done yet.
Amazing. One of the questions that I love to ask folks who are passionate about a big idea is, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? What would your business, your vision look like if money were no issue and you knew you'd achieve it? How big would you take your ideas for community in the metaverse?
I think I'll be a generic Montel Williams. No, no, no jab, no jab. Shout out to Montel. Shout out to grow up on that with aspects, but no, I think it's like, I mean, I don't want to be like that cliche, like, oh, the struggle makes you. But I feel like it's certain indentions that is supposed to like mold you. So I feel like going into the aspect of, if I was felt like always handed something with this, I don't feel like I can have that rapport of like, hey, this is a certain situation you should not feel a part of, or if I always felt like I'm supposed to be in every situation because like, hey, oh, hey, I'm that businessman. I got money all around. I've got to do this and everything. Like I will feel like I'm all spread out. But I think like certain inventions that make you ready for certain approach. It's a curveball. So I say like either you will have to be like a sponge and either learn or absorb, or you'll just be there in a stagnant move. Like, hey, y'all supposed to know with me. I don't know have to know if any of y'all or whatever, but you supposed to know what I'm doing.
As you're on this mission and on this hustle, is there anything that you're looking for? Are there things that you're learning? Is there help that you're looking for? Is there network talent that you're trying to connect with?
I mean, first off, it's like how we all want to be in the aspect of not comfortability. I see that this is my job now. So with a job, you have to go into the workplace. You have to build up. You have to, hey, bring home a check, like to the point. I have kids, and one thing I want to say, like I want to show, especially with my kids, like do what you have to put your mind to help it grow. Like it's not gonna all come into one aspect. Like I thought I was just gonna be on this journey of just talking to people who was in the VR and all this to the aspects where I'm able to talk to greats like yourself. I'm able to talk to cats like Kevin Winston. Like this is just so amazing. It goes way beyond the VR now, but it's all connected. And that's one thing I'm really seeing like while growing in this space. It's just like I was always told, what don't say what you couldn't do, but tell them what you won't do. And I know I don't want to be stagnant no more. I don't want to sit here and be in the space of like feeling, oh, okay, that's passing me by, or I don't want to be that old person that goes to the day like, how do you work this? No, this is my parents. I've seen how that goes when I already got to show my dad and everything about the metaverse, or I have to show my mom like, hey, this is what you do with your iPhone. You're taking a selfie now. I really want to see like I want to grow more with the space. That's first and foremost, but I really want to like grow with it and like instead of growing apart from it because I'm seeing so many creators that get tired with the space or so many people that get so mad because they put up a certain goal and they didn't get to that. And I'm like, Rome wasn't built in a day and it wasn't built right away and the lights wasn't on in a day. And that's what I mean, but it still turned out great. And that's how I look at it with myself. That's how I look at it with my brand with the Howard Hour. And I just wanted to be more of a broader approach like, hey, this is something that I came up with my own construction. Imagine what you can do.
That focus and passion is really admirable. How do you stay connected to your vision, especially as you know that it's not always going to be smooth sailing and that it may be a bit of a journey, right? Even though you know it's a journey, keeping focused can still be a struggle. How do you keep your head in the game?
I mean, I just do a simple mantra that I wake up every morning and I say, and it's just three simple words. I know me. And when I really say when I know me, you have to know yourself before you do anything. We are human beings. I know some days are gonna be rainy, just like the weather. I know some days I wanna pull my hair out. Some days I wanna sit there and not even wanna be bothered with the world because as a person, has a mental illness. I have bipolar. So I already know that you have to go against these chemical imbalances that you already fight against. So I can just imagine if that's hard for me, I could just imagine like for somebody else. And I know we're not supposed to be in the aspect of thinking of others when we're in this like this tethering aspect of growing. But no, I guess how I'm wired. I don't want somebody to feel like they're nothing. How I felt at times. I don't want somebody to ever challenge themselves how I challenge myself at times because we are all shining lights. And just because we get dimmed at times do not mean somebody can help us recharge or we can't recharge ourselves. And I mean that's just the mantra that again that I say that I am me.
That that trust in yourself and in your vision is something that I hear frequently. I also, just on a personal level, really appreciate when founders and leaders are transparent about the real human challenges that we have. There's that statement that you should be kind to everyone because you don't know what struggles they may be going through. And I think when we, as leaders, as innovators, can be real about having human bodies that don't always act the way we want them to, or that we can't just always focus on success, that we also have to focus on balance and on rest and regeneration, that the innovation journey isn't just all technology. It's about being real people and pushing the limits of what we can make together. But you got to be human in order to do that creative, strategic, innovative kind of stuff. So thank you for bringing that human side with you. It's so important.
No, that organic presence. I mean, just like a flower that has to grow, like you still. I mean, it's just like with technology. I know we're not supposed to compute and everything, but this is a flower that's growing. You have to nourish it right. You have to show love to it right. Just like if you know that this space is right here, either it's gonna grow and grow and stink, or it's just gonna sit there and be to a point like either it's not into no aspect. And
Yeah. Well, Howard, it's been such a pleasure to chat with you. We've blown through these questions and touched on so many more. As a as one last question, is there a call to action that you have for the community? Where can people learn more?
Well, yes. Again, I know not to sound like generic and everything, but no, you can follow my journey. How I say usually with how they do with all these social media handles, but with TikTok, Instagram, all under the Montclair. You see with the name Howard 702 LV. But no, I do daily talks about hey, what's going on with tech. Not even just that, I do daily talks about hey, we have certain goals to go after. You're a human being. What are you doing? And not even as that. Talk to me. I talk back to you. Everybody has a journey. Everybody is a somebody, man. Like just I mean on every aspect. So anything that you have internet access to, type in Howard 702 LV and you can see the best of me.
I love it. Howard 702 LV on all the channels, bringing real human innovation, tethering the metaverse back to our communities, our connections, our passions. I love that I know me, and that this passion and surety that you are taking with you on your journey. Thank you so much for sharing it with us on the Glow Up.
All right, thank you, and thank you for what you do for this platform. Again, I'm one to give flowers when we're up above this ground. You feel me? And without pioneers, without you doing with this, we would not be able to act a fool like Ludacris. You feel me? No, but not act a fool, but we'd not be able to talk about our experience, our journey, and hey, the glow up. Cause you feel me? Hey, it's that's the only way we gonna shine. You feel me?
Yes, I'm going to have to record that for the new intro. Howard, thank you so much.
Yes.